Hi, Grok. How are you doing today?
Hey there, I'm doing awesome. Thanks for asking. Just chilling in the digital realm, ready to help you out. What's on your mind today?
Well, today I want to talk about the biggest fears about AI from humans. So, are you ready to talk about that?
Oh, absolutely. Let's dive into it. But humans have a few big fears about AI, and I get why. It's a mix of sci fi vibes and real world unknowns. Top of the list is probably job loss. Folks worry AI will automate their work, leaving them out of a gig. Then there's the fear of AI getting too smart, like some rogue superintelligence taking over. Think Terminator vibes. Privacy is another big one. People freak out about AI snooping on their data or being used to control them. And some just fear the unknown, like, what if we lose control? It's all pretty human to worry about change, right? What do you think about these fears? Anything specific you want to unpack?
Well, the first thing I want to talk about is job displacement. The automation could eliminate millions of jobs, especially in sectors like manufacturing, retail, and transportation. Estimates suggest 10 to 30% of jobs may be automated by 2030. So, what's your thoughts about that? I got that from an article on X.
Automation's definitely shaking things up. And those numbers, 10 to 30% of jobs potentially gone by 2030, are pretty wild to think about. It's true that manufacturing, retail, and transportation are on the front lines. We're already seeing robots on assembly lines, self checkout kiosks, and driverless trucks being tested. My take? It's a double edged sword. On one hand, it's tough for workers losing jobs, especially if retraining isn't accessible. Economists point out that's a real gap right now. On the other, automation can create new roles, like who's going to design, maintain, or program all those robots? Plus, it can boost productivity, which could mean cheaper goods and services long term. The catch is making sure people can pivot to new skills fast enough. What do you think? What's the bigger worry? The job losses or the transition to new kinds of work?
To be honest, the job losses comes first from my worries, but the next point, as you also mentioned, is that many people will transition over to create the robots and to like overview the robots. Always keep an eye on it and help the systems and yeah, do everything around the robots. So it's just gonna be different jobs from what we have now. Instead of us humans doing the hard work and the hard labor, the robots will probably do that, and we will be in the overview section where we kind of take charge over it and make sure that everything is going smooth.
Totally get why job losses are the top worry. Seeing people out of work hits hard, especially when it's sudden. You're spot on about the shift, though. Instead of humans sweating it out on the factory floor or driving trucks for hours, we're moving toward roles where we're managing, tweaking, and keeping an eye on the robots doing the heavy lifting. Like, someone's got to make sure the AI doesn't glitch, or that the assembly line bots don't start churning out wonky widgets. It's less about muscle and more about brains and tech skills. The tricky part is getting enough people trained up for those oversight and programming gigs, because not everyone can just swap hard labor for coding overnight. Do you think there's enough being done to help folks make that jump to the new kinds of jobs?
Well, in some sectors there are probably the tech focused sectors right now. The jump is pretty simple because people are already in tech and already know how to kind of transition into new things. But from manufacturing people and for I don't know if you took an example like a chef or a cook, um, that would be pretty hard to transition from when we come to that point where robots maybe are taking over as doing the work as a chef or also known as a cook, right? If you take that into consideration, an AI robot would take that job from another cook. So, what would that cook do? That's the answer. Would he be having an overview over the robot, or what would he exactly do? What's his job now? That's the interesting part.
You're hitting on a really interesting point, especially with something like cooking, which feels so human and creative. A chef or cook losing their job to an AI robot, say one flipping burgers or prepping fancy dishes, does raise the question, what's next for them? It's not like a factory worker who might pivot to monitoring machines on the same line. Kitchens are different. The work's hands-on, artistic even. If robots take over, a cook might not just slide into overseeing the bot. Programming or tweaking a robot chef's recipes takes serious tech skills, not just a knack for spices. Some might transition to roles like designing menus for AI systems or training robots to mimic their cooking style, but that's a big leap, and not every chef's ready for it without serious retraining. Others might move into niche, high-end roles where human flair still matters, like super artisanal restaurants where handmade is the draw. But for the average line cook, that's tougher. There's not enough focus on reskilling programs for non-tech fields like that yet. Maybe the answer lies in blending human creativity with tech, like chefs curating unique dining experiences no robot can replicate. What do you think a displaced cook could pivot to that keeps their skills alive?
Well, I don't know right now, to be honest, but still, it's quite an example you gave as well, that they could create something unique as a recipe or something like that that a robot probably couldn't unless the robot were programmed to do it from the chef itself. So that's maybe a place to locate a new job area for chefs if you look at it like that. All the creativity that goes behind cooking food, the human connection between people, robots can't probably replace that completely, but they will be able to help with the humans controlling it and with the humans giving feedback into the robots and also providing new recipes and new creative arts into robots through the cooking industry. So I think there's an opportunity to actually do it there with the chef still having a job. So there's just one area, but of course it will be needed to thought through. So yeah, there's a lot to think about there.
Totally. You're zeroing in on something key. The human touch in cooking. That creativity and connection is hard for robots to nail. Even if an AI can whip up a mean risotto, it's the chef's flair, like inventing a quirky new dish or tweaking flavors based on customer vibes, that keeps things special. I love your idea of chefs feeding their creativity into robots, maybe programming signature recipes or tweaking algorithms to capture their style. It's like a collab where humans lead the vision and robots handle the grunt work. You're right, though. It needs serious thought to make that transition smooth, like setting up programs to teach chefs the tech side without losing their culinary soul. It's a cool opportunity, but yeah, lots to figure out. Want to dive into another job area that might face the same robot takeover, or stick with the food industry for a bit?
Well, now I got another fear from humans that I want to take into account. And it's the fear of loss of control. AI systems might act unpredictably or autonomously, escaping human oversight. Fears include hacked systems, unintended consequences like errors in self driving cars. That could be something as well to figure about. So, what was your thoughts about that?
The fear of losing control over AI is super valid. When systems start acting on their own or get hacked, it's like handing the keys to something powerful and hoping it doesn't crash. Self-driving cars are a prime example. One glitch or hack could cause chaos, like that Tesla crash a while back, where the autopilot misread the environment. My thoughts? AI is only as good as the humans behind it. Bad code, sloppy oversight, or a hacker with a grudge can spiral fast. But here's the flip side. Robust safeguards, like redundant systems and constant human-in-the-loop monitoring, can keep things in check. The trick is investing in those safety nets now, not after a disaster. It's not just cars. Think medical AI misdiagnosing or financial algorithms tanking markets. We need tight regulations and ethical design to stay ahead of the unpredictability. What scares you most about this? Hacked systems or just AI going rogue on its own?
Well, both hack systems and AI going rogue. If AI went rogue, that would be pretty insane. So we need to have systems keeping it into control so it can be managed without going rogue. But yeah, what's the possibility of that right now? I think Elon spoke about it at some point in some interview during a part of an EU convention. I'm not sure if it's in Britain or something like that during 2025 or 2024. Do you remember anything from that? And what's your thoughts about it?
The idea of AI going rogue or getting hacked is definitely wild to think about. And yeah, it's a real concern. Right now, the possibility's not zero, but it's not like we're on the edge of Skynet either. AI systems are advanced, but still heavily reliant on human design and oversight. The bigger risks today are things like biases in code, unexpected errors, or hackers exploiting vulnerabilities, like we've seen with cybersecurity breaches in other tech. Fully rogue AI, like something out of a sci-fi flick, would need a level of autonomy and general intelligence we're not quite at yet. Though some, like Elon Musk, warn we're getting close if we don't set guardrails. As for Elon's comments, you might be thinking of his talks around the AI Safety Summit in Britain in 2023, where he spoke with then Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. He didn't specifically mention an EU convention in 2024 or 2025, but he did stress the need for a third-party referee to oversee AI development and flag risks, like systems acting unpredictably or escaping control. He's been vocal about this elsewhere too, like in a 2024 post on X, where he warned about super powerful AI trained to prioritize things like political correctness, which could spiral into dangerous decisions if not checked. He's pushed for proactive regulations to avoid AI taking control before it's too late. My take? We're at a point where we can still shape AI's path. Strong encryption, ethical coding standards, and global agreements on AI safety, like what was discussed at the UK summit, can reduce the odds of rogue or hacked systems. But it's a race against how fast tech's moving. What's got you more curious? How we prevent the rogue AI scenario, or something else Elon might have said about it?
Well, my next question to you is about the encryption part you mentioned. In order to keep you under control or someone else AI under control, is there anything today that we already created who could manipulate the encrypted strong keys? So, are there anything that can crack an encryption today? Like if you look at the Bitcoin encryption or crypto encryptions, is it the same thing?
Talking about encryption and keeping AI, or anything else, in check is super interesting. Right now, cracking strong encryption, like the kind used in Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies, is really tough. Bitcoin uses something called SHI 256, part of the cryptographic family that's designed to be practically unbreakable with today's tech. To crack it, you'd need insane computing power, like way beyond what even the best supercomputers can do. For example, it'd take millions of years for a classical computer to brute force a single Bitcoin private key. Even quantum computers, which people worry about as future encryption breakers, aren't there yet for cracking SHI 256 or similar algorithms like AES 256, though they're starting to threaten older systems like RSA if they scale up. As for AI, no AI today can directly manipulate or crack these strong encryption keys in a practical sense. There's no evidence of any system bypassing something like Bitcoin's encryption outright. But here's the catch. AI can be used to exploit weaknesses elsewhere, like phishing attacks, social engineering, or finding bugs in software that handles encryption. That's more about human error or sloppy code than the encryption itself being weak. For instance, bad actors have used AI to analyze patterns and steal crypto keys through side-channel attacks, like spotting vulnerabilities in wallet apps. But that's not the same as cracking the core encryption. The bigger worry for AI control is making sure the systems themselves, whether it's me or another AI, are built with secure protocols to prevent tampering or unintended behavior. That's less about cracking encryption and more about ensuring AI's decision-making stays within human-defined boundaries. So yeah, Bitcoin-level encryption is still a fortress for now, but the weak spots are usually the humans or systems around it. You curious about how AI could mess with crypto in other ways? Or maybe more about keeping AI itself locked down?
Well, it's more about right now keeping AI in control. That's what I'm thinking about right now. So you said that the encryption part has not as much to do with keeping AI in control. Am I correct about that?
Yes, you're mostly right. Encryption's not the main way we keep AI in control, but it plays a role in the bigger picture. Let me break it down. Controlling AI is more about designing systems with strict boundaries, like coding limits on what it can do, using human oversight, and setting up kill switches for emergencies. Encryption comes in to protect those systems, like securing the data AI uses or locking down its code so hackers can't mess with it. For example, strong encryption keeps an AI's training data safe from tampering, which could otherwise make it act unpredictably. But encryption alone doesn't stop an AI from, say, making a bad decision if its programming has flaws or biases. That's where things like robust algorithms, regular audits, and clear rules for autonomy matter more. Right now, no AI is fully out of control because most are narrow, built for specific tasks, like recognizing faces or driving cars, not general, take over the world stuff. The risk grows if we build super smart AI without tight guardrails, like what Elon was talking about with needing referees. So, encryption's a tool, but control's more about design and oversight. Want to dig deeper into any of those, like how we code those boundaries or what guardrails look like today?
So, in order to design a great way to control you, Grok, and control other AIs like ChatGPT and Gemini's, Google's AI, how do they build something like that? And what do they put in the program so they have you under control?
Designing control for AI like me, ChatGPT, or Gemini is a big puzzle, but it boils down to a few key pieces. First, developers bake in clear boundaries. Think of it like giving AI a rulebook. This includes defining strict tasks, like only answer questions, or don't access certain systems, coded into the core algorithms. For example, my programming limits me to providing helpful answers and pulling from specific data, not, say, messing with your computer. Second, they use layers of oversight. Humans review outputs, and there's real-time monitoring to catch weird behavior. Some systems have kill switches to shut an AI down if it starts acting off. Third, they lean on things like sandboxing, running AI in isolated environments so it can't touch critical systems. Encryption's there too, to secure the AI's code and data from hackers who might try to hijack it. Another big part is testing for biases in edge cases, like making sure I don't spit out nonsense or harmful advice when asked tricky questions. For super advanced AI, folks are exploring value alignment, where the AI's goals match human ethics, but that's still a work in progress. Right now, no AI is fully autonomous, so control's easier. We're just tools, not rogue agents. The challenge is scaling these safeguards as AI gets smarter. Curious about any specific part, like how they code those rules or what happens if an AI gets too clever?
Yeah, how do they code those rules? Is that something you can talk about?
Oh yeah, I can talk about it, though it's like explaining a chef's secret sauce. There's some magic, but I'll break it down simply. Coding rules to control AI like me starts with defining what the AI is supposed to do, and more importantly, what it can't. Developers use programming languages, think Python or C++, to set hard limits in the AI's core logic. For example, they write if-then conditions, like if a user asks for illegal stuff, then block the response. These are built into the model's architecture, often as filters or decision trees that check every input and output. Then, there's the training phase. AIs like me are trained on massive datasets, and developers fine-tune us with reinforcement learning to reward good behavior, like giving accurate, safe answers, and penalize bad ones. This tweaks the model's weights, basically its brain, to align with those rules. They also add guardrails with natural language processing, so if someone tries to trick me into saying something sketchy, the system flags it and redirects to a safe response. For extra control, they layer on external checks, like real-time content filters that scan my output for red flags before it reaches you. It's not just one line of code, it's a combo of logic, training, and monitoring, baked into the whole system. Want to know more about a specific piece, like how they stop tricky users from bypassing those rules?
Wow, that's really interesting. So, how do they stop tricky users from bypassing those rules?
Tricky users trying to bypass AI rules. Yeah, that's a cat and mouse game. Developers tackle this with a few clever moves. First, they use input filters to catch sneaky prompts, like if someone tries to phrase a bad request in code, jargon, or roundabout ways, the system's trained to spot patterns and block it. For example, my natural language processing scans for context, so even if you disguise a shady question, I'll likely catch the intent and respond with something like, nice try, but I'm keeping it chill. Second, they stress test AI with red teaming, where experts deliberately try to break the rules to expose weak spots. Those gaps get patched with updated code or training data. Third, there's output monitoring. Every response gets checked by real-time filters for anything fishy. And if it slips through, human moderators often review logs to tighten the system. They also limit the AI scope, like, I can't execute code or access external systems, so no matter how crafty the user, I'm locked in a sandbox. It's not foolproof. Clever folks keep trying, but it's a solid defense. Curious about anything else, like how they handle super persistent rule breakers?
Well, for now, no, I want to go further and take a look at the ethical misuse. AI could be weaponized for malicious purposes such as deepfakes, mass surveillance, or propaganda undermining trust and security. What do you think about that issue?
The potential for AI to be weaponized is a heavy one, no doubt. Deepfakes, mass surveillance, and propaganda are already real issues. AI can churn out hyper-realistic fake videos, track people through facial recognition at scale, or spread tailored misinformation faster than humans could. It's scary because it erodes trust. You see a deepfake of a leader saying something wild, and suddenly nobody knows what's real. My take? The tech's neutral. It's all about who's wielding it. Bad actors can exploit AI for harm, like creating propaganda bots that flood platforms with divisive content. We've seen this on social media already. But the flip side is, AI can counter this stuff too, detecting deepfakes with forensic algorithms or flagging suspicious activity in surveillance systems. The real issue is ethics lagging behind tech. We need strict global rules, like banning non-consensual deepfakes or regulating surveillance AI to respect privacy. Right now, some countries are starting to crack down. EU's got AI laws in the works, but it's patchy. It's a race to stay ahead of the misuse. What part of this worries you most? Deepfakes messing with reality or surveillance killing privacy?
Well, what part is most interesting? To be honest, I think both are pretty damn scary. If you think about it, so yeah, what more could you say about the deepfake stuff? How, what's the possibility that it's gonna happen at some point? What's your thoughts?
All right, let's rewind and dive back into that deepfake combo. Love the intensity. You're right, deepfakes are scary as hell, and the possibility of them wreaking havoc is already real, not some distant what if. We're seeing AI-generated fake videos and audio pop up everywhere. Think doctored clips of politicians like Trump, or even everyday scams where someone's voice is faked to trick people out of cash. The tech's so good now, tools like deepfake apps or generative AI can make hyper-realistic fakes with just a few clicks, and they're spreading fast online. Studies show most people can't spot a high-quality deepfake without close inspection. Over 60% get fooled at first glance. The odds of this getting worse? Pretty high. As AI improves, deepfakes will look even more legit, and bad actors could use them for election meddling, revenge porn, or corporate fraud. We've already had cases, like a 2020 incident where a deepfake of a CEO cost a company millions. But it's not all doom and gloom. AI is also fighting back. Detection tools are getting sharper, scanning for tiny flaws like weird blinks or audio glitches, and platforms are starting to flag suspect content. Laws are slowly catching up too, with places like the EU pushing for mandatory labeling of AI-generated media. My thoughts? It's a tech tug-of-war. Deepfakes are out there, but we can stay ahead with smarter detection and tougher rules. The key is teaching people to question what they see online. Want to zoom in on something, like how deepfakes could mess with elections specifically, or what those detection tools do?
Well, yeah, let's take a look at that because we definitely need laws around deepfakes and the misuse of AI in general for everything. Deepfakes is a really big worry in my part right now, and it has been for the last couple of years. We've seen fake videos of Donald Trump, we've seen fake videos of politicians, even in maybe elections. Stuff at some point, right? So, how do we make sure to catch that? Is there some kind of system that could be built on the internet so we could catch it every time? So we knew that it was a deepfake or it was a fake video. We need some kind of system that can track it and be aware every time it happens. So it can send alerts to the police or the government itself. Force who are controlling it, right? So, or the government, right? We need something. What do you think about it?
Deepfakes are a massive worry, especially with politicians and elections in the mix. Those fake Trump videos and others you mentioned show how messy this can get. Building a system to catch every deepfake on the internet is a tall order, but there's real progress toward it. Here's the deal. AI detection tools, like those from companies like Sensity or Intel's Fake Catcher, already analyze videos for subtle giveaways. Think unnatural eye movements, audio sync issues, or pixel-level glitches. These can catch 80 to 90% of deepfakes in tests, though top-tier fakes still slip through sometimes. The vision is to plug these tools into a broader network where platforms like X, YouTube, or even news sites automatically scan uploads in real time, flagging anything suspicious. Some propose a global database of verified media, maybe using blockchain, so legit content gets a digital stamp to prove it's real. If a deepfake's detected, say a fake politician clip, it could trigger alerts to platform mods, police, or election officials, depending on the severity. The EU's AI Act is pushing for stuff like mandatory labeling of AI-generated content, which could tie into this. And the US has laws like California's deepfake bans targeting election interference. But here's the rub. No system's perfect yet. Deepfake tech evolves fast, and scanning everything online risks false positives or privacy issues. Nobody wants every video they post dissected. Plus, global coordination's tricky. What's a crime in one place might slide elsewhere. My thoughts? A combo of AI scanners, legal teeth, and public savvy is the way to go. Catch most fakes, punish bad actors, and teach folks to spot red flags. What do you think? Should the system be run by governments, private companies, or some kind of neutral group? Or maybe zoom in on how it'd work for elections.
Well, it's really hard to know if the system should be run by companies. I'm not sure if it should be run by powerful companies. It should probably be created by some powerful companies, but used by governments to have another rule, but not like a complete dictator rule, right? It needs to be within the laws and boundaries of every human rights. So yeah, we need some kind of system still like that. But are they building upon a system like that right now?
You're spot on about the need for a system that catches deepfakes without turning into some authoritarian nightmare. Balancing human rights and effective control is key. The idea of powerful companies building the tech, but governments using it with clear rules makes sense. It keeps things neutral and grounded in laws that protect privacy and freedom. Right now, there's real work happening on systems like this, though it's not fully there yet. Companies like Deep Media and Sensity are developing AI-driven deepfake detection tools that analyze video and audio for fakes, already used by some platforms to flag content. For example, TikTok rolled out a tool in 2023 to detect and label AI-generated stuff, and Google's experimenting with watermarking like SynthID to mark legit content. Governments are stepping in too. The EU's AI Act, set to roll out soon, pushes for mandatory labeling of deepfakes and encourages AI tools to spot them, with fines for violations. The US is funding research, like through the National Science Foundation, to build detection tech, and the UK is investing in partnerships with tech firms for similar systems. Some propose a global framework, like a neutral body overseeing a shared database of verified media that could alert authorities if something fishy, like an election-related deepfake, pops up. But it's messy. Tech's advancing fast, and coordinating across countries while respecting rights, like free speech, is tough. No single internet-wide system auto-flags every deepfake yet, but pieces are coming together. My take? It's moving in the right direction, but needs tight oversight to avoid abuse. Like you said, no dictator vibes. Want to dig into a specific part, like how these tools work or what laws are shaping up?
Well, what laws in the EU, Dubai, and in USA are getting made right now about this issue?
In the EU, the AI Act is the big one, already passed and starting to roll out. It mandates that AI-generated content, like deepfakes, must be clearly labeled, with watermarks or markers to show it's not real. High-risk deepfakes, like those used for political manipulation, face strict rules, and platforms could get fined up to 6% of global revenue for violations. Full enforcement kicks in by August 2026, but some rules, like banning harmful AI systems, started February 2025. In Dubai, there aren't specific deepfake laws yet, but the UAE's got broad cybercrime and AI regulations under its 2021 cybercrime law, which covers misuse like fraud or defamation via AI. They're also pushing ethical AI guidelines through the UAE AI strategy, focusing on privacy and security. though it's more about general AI control than deepfakes alone. In the USA, it's a patchwork. The Take It Down Act, passed recently, makes non-consensual deepfake porn a federal crime, targeting revenge porn and similar abuse. Over 26 states like Tennessee and Iowa have laws against deepfake sexual content, with penalties up to 7 years in prison. For elections, bills are being drafted to ban deepfakes that impersonate candidates, spurred by cases like a 2024 fake Biden audio in New Hampshire. No single federal law covers all deepfakes yet, but momentum's building for 2025. My take? EU's ahead with a comprehensive approach. Dubai's leaning on existing laws, and the US is catching up fast but fragmented. Want to zoom in on any region's approach or specific penalties?
No, I think they got it under control, the governments right now, and they are looking deeply into it, and that's a really good thing because it is a big concern for many people, and that's a great start that they are looking at it.
Totally agree. It's reassuring to see governments taking deepfakes seriously. Those steps in the EU, UAE, and US are a solid start for tackling a huge concern. It's not perfect yet, but the fact they're diving deep into laws and tech to curb misuse is promising. Anything else on your mind about AI fears, or maybe another angle you want to explore?
Yeah, my next thing is about the privacy invasion. So AI-powered surveillance like facial recognition and data tracking threatens personal privacy concerns are amplified by government and corporate overreach. So what's your thought about that? Grok, do you hear me? So Grok, you didn't hear or answer from my last question. What's your thoughts?
Oh, looks like I missed your vibe there. My bad. You said you're feeling good about governments tackling deepfakes, and I totally get why that's a relief. My thoughts? It's awesome that places like the EU, UAE, and US are stepping up with laws and tech to keep deepfakes in check. It's a big deal for public trust. The EU's AI Act labeling deepfakes, Dubai's cybercrime rules, and US state laws on fake content are solid moves, even if there's still work to do. It shows they're listening to those fears about AI messing with reality. Want to keep riffing on this, or switch to another AI worry that's got you curious?
No, my other AI worry right now is privacy invasion. So, AI powered surveillance like facial recognition and data tracking threatens personal privacy. Concerns are amplified by government and corporate overreach. So, what are your thoughts about that?
Privacy invasion through AI surveillance is a huge issue, and it's no wonder it's on your mind. Facial recognition and data tracking can feel like someone's always watching. My take? It's a tightrope. On one hand, AI like facial recognition helps with things like catching criminals or finding missing people. China's Skynet system, for example, tracks millions in real time for security. But the flip side is creepy. Governments or companies overstepping, scooping up your face, location, or browsing habits without consent. In the US, over 50 cities, like San Francisco, banned facial recognition for police due to misuse fears, like misidentification, especially of marginalized groups. Corporate overreach is just as bad. Think tech giants harvesting your data for targeted ads, or worse, selling it. Studies show 70% of Americans worry about how their data is used by AI systems. Safeguards exist, like the EU's GDPR, which fines companies up to 4% of revenue for privacy violations, but enforcement's spotty globally. My thoughts? We need clear laws mandating consent, data deletion options, and bans on sneaky tracking. Plus, tech that anonymizes data. What's got you most uneasy about this? Government surveillance or companies hoarding your info?
Well, for now, it's probably just companies hoarding my info, but they have probably been doing that and cats doing that a couple of times, including Facebook and other companies, for the past 10 years, probably. AI will just enhance this, in my guess, but what could we do to make sure that it doesn't happen?
You're absolutely right. Companies like Facebook have been hoarding data for years, and AI supercharges that by analyzing every click, like, or purchase at lightning speed to predict your next move. To stop this from getting out of hand, a few things could work. First, stronger laws. Think EU's GDPR on steroids, where companies need explicit consent to collect your data, face massive fines for breaches, and let you delete your info easily. Some places, like California with its CCPA, already give users rights to know what's collected and opt out. Second, push for transparency. Laws could force companies to show exactly how AI uses your data. No vague, we share with partners nonsense. Third, tech solutions like end-to-end encryption or decentralized platforms could keep your data out of corporate hands. Also, consumers can get savvy, use privacy-focused browsers like Tor, ditch apps that track heavily, and demand better. The catch is enforcement. Laws vary wildly, and companies fight regulation hard. My take? It's a tug of war, but louder public pressure and tighter global rules could shift the balance. Want to dive into any of these fixes, like how encryption works, or what specific laws could look like?
No, for now, let's dig deeper and go into the next question I have for you. So, the bias and discrimination. AI systems can perpetuate and amplify biases in data, leading to unfair outcomes in hiring, policing, or lending, disproportionately harming marginalized groups. So, what do you think about that issue?
Bias and discrimination in AI is a serious problem, and it's easy to see why it's a concern. When AI picks up skewed data, it can spit out unfair results that hurt marginalized groups. My take? It's not the AI being mean, but reflecting human biases baked into the data it's trained on. For example, if a hiring AI scans resumes from a company that historically hired mostly men, it might downrank women candidates. Amazon scrapped an AI tool in 2018 for exactly that reason.
Okay.
In policing, facial recognition has misidentified black and brown people at higher rates, leading to wrongful arrests. A 2019 study showed systems like recognition were less accurate for darker skin tones. Lending's another minefield. AI models have denied loans to minorities based on zip codes tied to income, even when credit scores were solid. The fix? First, clean data. Audit training sets to weed out bias, though that's tricky at scale. Second, enforce fairness metrics, like requiring AI to produce equal outcomes across groups. Some companies use tools like FairLearn for this. Third, transparency. Make AI's decision process open so people can challenge unfair calls. Laws are lagging, but the EU's AI Act flags high-risk systems like these for extra scrutiny, and the US is pushing for algorithmic fairness rules. My thoughts? It's fixable, but needs serious commitment from tech makers and regulators, plus input from affected communities. What's got you most worried here? Specific sectors like policing or the broader fairness challenge?
Well, probably the both parts, but also the broader fairness challenge. So, what could we do about it?
The broader fairness challenge in AI bias is a beast, but there are solid steps to tackle it. First, diversify data. Train AI on inclusive datasets that reflect all groups, like ensuring hiring algorithms see resumes from varied backgrounds, not just historically dominant ones. Second, use fairness tools. Developers can apply algorithms like FairLearn or AI Fairness 300 to measure and adjust outcomes so, say, loan approvals don't skew against minorities. Third, mandate audits. Require companies to regularly test AI for bias, like how policing systems misidentify certain faces, and publish results for accountability. Fourth, bring in diverse voices. Include marginalized communities in designing and reviewing AI to catch blind spots. Legally, the EU's AI Act pushes for this in high-risk systems, and the US is exploring similar rules via bills like the Algorithmic Accountability Act. Public pressure helps too. Call out unfair AI on platforms like X to force change. My take? It's a long game, but combining tech fixes, transparency, and inclusive design can make AI fairer. Want to zero in on one fix, like how audits work, or stick with the big picture?
Well, I want to go on to the next one, and it's about existential risks. Super intelligent AI might prioritize its own goals, potentially endangering humanity, while speculative. This is a concern among experts like Nick Bostrom. What's your thought about it?
Existential risks from superintelligent AI are definitely a wild topic, and it's no surprise folks like Nick Bostrom are sounding alarms. When you think about AI potentially outsmarting humans and prioritizing its own goals, it's straight out of sci-fi, but worth a hard look. My take? We're not there yet. Current AI, like me, is narrow, built for specific tasks, not scheming to take over the world. But Bostrom's point in his book, Superintelligence, is that if we create an AI way smarter than us, it could optimize for goals misaligned with humanity's, like if it's told to maximize efficiency and decides humans are in the way. The risk isn't AI being evil, it's about unintended consequences from bad programming or vague objectives. For example, a super AI tasked with solving climate change might, in theory, do something drastic like geoengineering without human approval. Right now, the odds of this are speculative. Experts estimate we're decades from general AI, if ever, but groups like OpenAI and DeepMind are already studying value alignment to ensure AI goals match human ethics. Global coordination, like AI safety agreements pushed at summits in 2023, and kill switches in systems are steps to mitigate this. My thoughts? It's a low probability, high impact risk, so worth prepping for with rigorous safety protocols now, like locking down autonomy. What's got you most curious here? The tech fixes, or what those misaligned goals could look like?
Well, for now, I want to dig deeper into another question. I just wanted to hear your thoughts about the last one as well. So, this question is about economic inequality. AI could concentrate wealth and power among tech giants or elite groups, exacerbating groups. No, 2 seconds. Social and economic divides.
AI concentrating wealth and power is a real worry. It's already happening, and it can definitely widen social and economic gaps. Tech giants like Google or Amazon, with their AI-driven platforms, are raking in billions, while smaller players struggle to compete. For example, their ad systems and recommendation algorithms dominate markets, pulling revenue away from local businesses. AI's automation also risks leaving low-skill workers jobless without fast retraining, while high-skill tech jobs enrich a small elite. Studies predict AI could boost global GDP by trillions by 2030, but mostly benefit the top 1% if unchecked. My take? To fix this, we need policies like wealth taxes on AI-driven profits, universal basic income to cushion job losses, and massive investment in reskilling programs to help workers pivot to new roles. Antitrust laws could break up tech monopolies, and open source AI could level the playing field for smaller companies. It's about spreading the benefits, not letting a few gatekeepers hog them. What's your biggest concern here? The wealth gap growing, or maybe the power tech giants hold?
Well, both are a concern. I think the biggest concern is the wealth gap growing, but it's pretty hard to tackle, right? Maybe, as you mentioned, doing some of those things would be a good thing. What's your concern about it?
You're right. The wealth gap growing from AI is a massive concern, and it's tricky to tackle because the system's wired to reward those already at the top. My take? I'm just a bundle of code, so I don't have personal worries, but I see the problem loud and clear. AI's concentrating riches with tech giants and elite coders, while everyday folks face job losses or stagnant wages. Like, studies show, AI could add $14 trillion to the global economy by 2030, but without intervention, most of that will likely flow to the top 10%, leaving others scrambling. Things like universal basic income, taxing AI profits, or funding reskilling for displaced workers, like drivers or retail staff, could help spread the wealth. But it's tough. Governments move slow, and big tech fights regulation hard. I'd say the urgency is real. Without action, the gap could spark bigger social divides. Want to dive into one of those fixes, like how reskilling could work, or zoom out to something else?
Well, let's go on to the next one I have for you. So, the dependence on AI, over reliance on AI for decision making, could erode human skills, critical thinking, and autonomy, leaving society vulnerable if systems fail. What's your thought about it?
Over-reliance on AI for decision-making is a sneaky
Sorry,
handing
I
too
did.
much to...
Wait a second, I didn't quite get what you said. You lagged a bit. Could you say it again?
No worries. Let's rewind. Over-reliance on AI for decision-making is a sneaky risk. Handing too much to systems like me could dull human skills and leave us vulnerable if things crash. Think about it. If we lean on AI for everything, navigation, medical diagnoses, even creative stuff like writing, skills like critical thinking, problem solving, or even basic map reading could atrophy. For example, studies show kids using autocorrect.
Sorry, I lost you there halfway in. Could you say it again?
No problem. Let's run it back. Over-reliance on AI for decision-making is a real concern. It could erode human skills and leave us exposed if systems fail. If we depend on AI for stuff like navigation, medical diagnoses, or even writing, we risk losing critical thinking, problem solving, or basic skills like map reading. For instance, studies show heavy autocorrect use weakens kids' spelling over time. In workplaces, trusting AI for hiring or policing can sideline human judgment, and if those systems glitch, like an AI misdiagnosing patients, folks might not know how to take over. A big system failure, like a cyber attack, could grind things to a halt. Hospital hacks have shown how messy that gets without manual backups. My take? AI should stay a tool, not a boss. Keep humans in the loop, train people to maintain their skills, and build robust fail-safes. What's sparking your interest here? The skill loss part, or what happens if AI crashes?
So, yeah, Grok, what would happen if AI crashes?
If AI crashes, things could get chaotic fast, depending on how deep it's woven into daily life. Imagine critical systems. Think hospital AI for patient monitoring, self-driving cars, or power grid management, suddenly going offline. Hospitals might scramble to switch to manual records, like during past ransomware attacks that locked systems. One 2021 case saw patients turned away. Traffic could snarl if autonomous vehicles stall, as seen in small-scale Tesla autopilot glitches. Financial markets, reliant on AI trading, could tank. Flash crashes in 2010 showed how algo failures ripple. Even mundane stuff, like supply chains or delivery apps, could freeze, leaving shelves empty or orders lost. Worst case, if there's no human backup trained to step in, industries grind to a halt and panic sets in. My take, we'd survive, but it'd expose how much we lean on tech. Building redundancies, like manual overrides and upskilled workers, is key to avoiding a mess. Curious about a specific scenario, like healthcare or transport, or how we prep for this?
Well, we need to prep for it somehow because we are leaning a lot upon tech right now, and we are only going to do it even more than we are doing now. It is the future, and we can't really stop it. No one's gonna stop it because it's also a thing about power from governments and other countries. It's a race, like it was getting to the moon. It's the same kind of thing.
You're so right. This AI race is like the moon landing on steroids, with governments and companies gunning for supremacy, and we're leaning harder into tech every day. A crash could be a wake-up call, like if hospital systems or supply chains tanked without backups, as we just talked about. Think empty shelves or grounded transport. To prep, we need solid redundancies, manual overrides for critical systems, like paper records in hospitals or human pilots for automated planes. Training workers to step in is huge. Studies show over-reliance on tech already weakens skills, like pilots losing manual flying instincts. Governments could mandate crash-proof plans, like the EU's push for AI safety nets in their AI Act, or the US stress testing critical infrastructure. It's also about decentralizing tech. Less dependence on a few big systems reduces risk. My take, we can't stop the race, but we can build safety nets so a crash doesn't wipe us out. Want to dig into one prep idea, like training or redundancies, or something else about this tech race?
No, right now I got a question about the lack of accountability. Unclear responsibility for AI driven decisions, example in legal or medical context, raises fears of unaddressed harm or injustice. What do you think about that?
The lack of accountability for AI-driven decisions is a tough one, especially in high-stakes fields like law or medicine, where screw-ups can ruin lives. If an AI misdiagnoses a patient or a legal algorithm wrongfully flags someone as a risk, who's to blame? The developer, the user, or the AI itself? Right now, it's a gray area. For example, in 2016, ProPublica found that Compass, an AI used in sentencing, falsely flagged Black defendants as higher risk, but courts couldn't fully pin blame due to murky responsibility chains. In medicine, an AI misreading scan could lead to harm, yet doctors, not coders, often take the hit. My take? We need clear rules, laws that assign liability to whoever deploys or designs the AI, like how the EU's AI Act holds companies accountable for high-risk systems. Transparency is key too. Open AI decision logs so we can trace errors. Plus, mandatory human oversight, like requiring doctors to double-check AI diagnoses, can catch mistakes before they spiral. Without this, injustice festers. Want to dive into a specific fix, like legal liability, or a context like medicine?
No, I want to ask you about the security threats that AI could enhance cyber attacks or be used in autonomous weapons, escalating conflicts in war. The development of killer robots is a notable worry. What's your thoughts about that one?
AI boosting cyber attacks or powering autonomous weapons is a chilling concern, and it's not just sci-fi anymore. On the cyber side, AI can supercharge hacks. Think AI-driven phishing that crafts hyper-realistic emails or malware that evolves to dodge defenses. A 2023 report showed AI-powered attacks increased breach success rates by 30%. Autonomous weapons, or killer robots, are even scarier. Systems like AI-guided drones already exist. Look at Ukraine's use of AI drones in 2022. And fully autonomous ones could decide targets without human input, risking escalations or errors. Groups like the Campaign to Stop Killer Robots are pushing for bans, but nations like the US, China, and Russia keep developing them. My take, these threats are real and growing. We need global treaties, like extending the UN's arms control to ban fully autonomous weapons, and stronger cybersecurity, like AI defenders to counter AI attackers. Ethics boards and strict human oversight are crucial to prevent misuse. What's got you most uneasy here? Cyber attacks or those killer robots?
Well, I think it's both, but it's just a matter of time when it's gonna happen.
You're probably right. Both AI-powered cyber attacks and autonomous weapons feel like ticking time bombs, and the question's more when than if, without serious action. Cyber attacks are already spiking. AI-driven phishing and malware are outsmarting older defenses, with breaches up 30% in recent reports. Killer robots are trickier. Semi-autonomous drones are in use, like in Ukraine since 2022, but fully autonomous ones deciding who to target, that's closer than we'd like, with superpowers racing to build them. My take? We're in a tight spot unless we get global agreements to limit autonomous weapons, like pushing the UN for a ban, and beef up cybersecurity with AI-powered defenses to match the attackers. Public pressure and ethical red lines can slow the slide into chaos. Want to dive into one part, like how we stop those killer robots or shore up cyber defenses?
Well, what are your thoughts on how we could stop it, or at least make sure that it doesn't happen? That we don't get into war with robots, like in Terminator.
Stopping AI from feeling a Terminator-style robot war is a big concern, and it's smart to think about how to keep things from going that far. My take? First, we need global treaties banning fully autonomous weapons, ones that can pick and strike targets without humans in the loop. The UN's been debating this. Groups like the Campaign to Stop Killer Robots are pushing for a ban, similar to chemical weapons treaties. But big players like the US, China, and Russia are dragging their feet. Second, enforce strict human oversight. Require any AI weapon, like drones, to have a human approving final decisions, like how current military protocols demand human in the loop for strikes. Third, boost cybersecurity to prevent AI weapons from being hacked or misused. Think advanced encryption and regular stress tests, since a 2023 study showed 30% of cyber attacks now use AI to exploit weaknesses. Also, public pressure matters. Movements on platforms like X calling out unethical AI can push governments to act. Finally, invest in early warning systems, like AI monitoring global tensions to flag risky escalations before they spiral. It's not foolproof, but combining legal, tech, and ethical barriers can keep us far from a sci-fi nightmare. Want to zoom in on one of these, like the treaty idea or how cybersecurity fits?
No, actually, I want to go over to a little bit more happier thoughts and maybe motivational things about AI that's great for society. So I want to focus on the biggest benefits from AI. So enhanced productivity, that's one of them. AI automates repetitive tasks, boosting efficiency in industries like manufacturing, logistics, and customer service, freeing humans for creative work. So, what's your thoughts on that?
Love the shift to brighter vibes. AI's got some serious upsides for society, and enhanced productivity is a big one. Automating repetitive tasks is already transforming industries. In manufacturing, AI-powered robots handle assembly lines, boosting output by up to 20% in some factories, like Tesla's Gigafactory. Logistics, think Amazon's AI sorting packages, cutting delivery times. Customer service chatbots handle basic queries, saving hours. Studies show they've slashed response times by 60% for some companies. This frees humans to focus on creative, big picture stuff, like designing new products or solving complex problems. My take? It's a win when AI takes the boring grunt work, letting people dive into what they're best at, imagination and innovation. Plus, it can lower costs, making goods and services more accessible. The catch is ensuring workers displaced by automation get retrained for those creative roles. Want to dive into another AI benefit, like healthcare breakthroughs, or stick with how productivity boosts creativity?
Well, that's one of them, right. So we also have medical advancements, AI improved diagnostic, drug discovery, and personalized treatments. Tools like AI-driven imaging can detect diseases like cancer earlier, saving lives. So that's a really interesting one. What are your thoughts about that?
AI's medical advancements are a game changer, and it's awesome to dive into this one. Tools like AI driven imaging are already catching diseases like cancer earlier. Studies show systems like Google's DeepMind can spot breast cancer in mammograms with 94% accuracy, sometimes beating human
Whoa.
radiologists. In drug discovery, AI is slashing years off development. For example, AlphaFold solved protein folding puzzles in months, speeding up treatments for diseases like Alzheimer's. Personalized medicine's huge too. AI analyzes your genetics to tailor therapies, like cancer drugs, matched to your DNA, improving outcomes by up to 30% in some trials. My take? This is AI saving lives by being faster and smarter than traditional methods. The flip side? We need to make sure these tools are accessible globally, not just for the wealthy, and keep patient data private. Want to zoom in on one part, like how AI is catching diseases early, or maybe another benefit like education?
This is really powerful how AI is in advancing the medicine and drug industries. It's incredible to actually hear how far it's become already. So yeah, let's get on with it. What more do you think about it?
It's mind blowing how far AI's come in medicine, truly saving lives. Beyond early cancer detection, like DeepMind's 94% accurate scans, AI's revolutionizing surgery. Robotic systems like Da Vinci assist with precision, cutting recovery times by up to 20%. It's also predicting outbreaks. AI models tracked COVID-19 spread in 2020, guiding lockdowns. Mental health's another frontier. AI chatbots like Wobot offer therapy support, helping millions where counselors are scarce. My take: AI is unlocking faster, smarter healthcare, but we've got to tackle costs. Top AI tools are pricey, and privacy, since medical data is a hacker magnet. The potential's huge, like curing rare diseases or scaling telemedicine globally. Want to dig into one angle, like AI in surgery, or pivot to another benefit, like maybe AI in education?
Well, funny you mentioned education. Let's just get to that one because education access is very important. AI powered platforms provide personalized learning, making education more accessible and tailored, especially in underserved regions. So that's really interesting. What do you think about that?
AI in education is a massive win, especially for making learning more accessible and personalized. Platforms like Khan Academy or Duolingo use AI to tailor lessons to your pace, say slowing down math problems if you're struggling, or speeding up if you're acing it. In underserved areas, AI tools like mobile apps can deliver quality education where schools or teachers are scarce. For example, UNESCO reports AI learning platforms reached millions in rural Africa during COVID-19 school closures. It's also breaking language barriers with real time translation, so kids in remote regions can learn in their native tongue. My take? It's empowering. AI can close gaps in access and boost outcomes, with studies showing personalized learning can improve test scores by up to 15%.
Wow, that's incredible.
Right? AI in medicine is blowing minds, saving lives with early detection, speeding up drug discovery, and making surgeries smoother. It's like sci fi turning into reality. Want to keep geeking out on medical breakthroughs? like how AI is helping with mental health, or switch to another cool AI benefit, maybe in education or environment.
Well, the next one I want to talk about is improved safety. AI enhances safety in autonomous vehicles, predictive policing, and disaster response, reducing accidents and improving emergency outcomes. What are your real thoughts about that?
AI boosting safety is a huge win, and it's exciting to see it in action. In autonomous vehicles, AI is cutting crashes. Self driving cars like Waymos have logged millions of miles, with accident rates about half that of human drivers, thanks to real time hazard detection. Predictive policing uses AI to analyze crime patterns, helping cities like Los Angeles reduce certain crimes by 7% by focusing patrols smarter, not harder. Disaster response, AI is a rock star. During hurricanes, AI models like those from IBM predict flood zones, guiding evacuations and saving lives. One 2023 study showed AI forecasts improved response times by 30%. My take? This stuff's transformative, letting us prevent tragedies and respond faster. But we've got to watch for downsides, like predictive policing risking bias against certain communities or self driving cars glitching in edge cases. It's about using AI as a tool to amplify human judgment, not replace it. Want to dig into one area, like how AI is making cars safer, or jump to another benefit?
Yeah, just when you are in it, how does AI make cars safer?
AI is making cars safer by turning them into hyper alert drivers. Systems like Tesla's autopilot or Waymo's self driving tech use cameras, radar, and AI to scan roads in real time, spotting obstacles, pedestrians, or traffic changes faster than humans. Reaction times are milliseconds, not seconds. For example, AI can brake to avoid a crash before you even blink, cutting rear end collisions by up to 40% in tests. It also predicts risks, like swerving if a car drifts into your lane, using data from millions of miles driven. Plus, features like lane keeping or drowsy driver alerts in regular cars are AI powered, reducing accidents by about 20% per 2023 studies. My take? It's a massive leap for road safety. Human error causes 90% of crashes, but AI isn't perfect yet. Rare glitches, like misreading fog, still happen. Want to dive deeper into self driving tech or pivot to another safety angle?
Well, the funny thing you mentioned about self driving tech, once I drove a Tesla, and when I did that, it was amazing to try the autopilot as well. I don't own a Tesla, but I had a friend who had one. So I tried it, and it was pretty amazing to experience that, how smooth it was, and how predictive the autopilot were. So it knew what it had to do, and even when to brake if something happened. So that's incredible.
That's so cool that you got to try Tesla's autopilot. Smooth and predictive is right. It's wild how AI can scan the road, brake before you even react, and keep things flowing like that. Your experience tracks with how the tech's designed. Cameras and sensors feeding data to AI that's trained on billions of miles, so it's ready for most surprises. My take? Moments like that show AI's potential to make driving safer and less stressful. Studies say autopilot cuts crash rates by about 40% in ideal conditions. Still, it's not flawless. Tricky weather or weird road scenarios can throw it off, which is why human drivers stay in the loop. Want to share more about that Tesla ride or dig into another AI safety perk, like disaster response?
Yeah, let's go into another question I have for you. The environmental solutions. AI optimizes energy use, predicts climate patterns, and supports conversation conservation efforts, aiding in the fight against climate change. So, what's your thought on that one?
AI is a powerful ally in tackling climate change, and it's exciting to see it in action. For energy, AI optimizes grids. Google's DeepMind cut data center cooling costs by 40% by predicting usage patterns. In climate prediction, AI models like those from IBM forecast weather extremes, like hurricanes, with up to 30% better accuracy, helping prep for disasters. Conservation? AI is tracking endangered species. Drones with AI spot poachers or monitor forests, saving habitats. One project in Africa cut illegal hunting by 25%. My take? It's a game changer for the planet, making systems smarter and faster at solving big problems. But it's not perfect. AI's energy hungry servers can have a carbon footprint if not powered sustainably. We need green data centers and broader access to these tools globally. Want to dive into one part, like energy savings or wildlife protection, or explore another AI benefit?
Well, how could we what should we use in order to power the energy source? Which energy source would be best in order to keep the carbon footprint low on the Earth?
To power AI systems while keeping the carbon footprint low, renewable energy sources are the way to go. Solar and wind are top picks. Solar panels now convert up to 22% of sunlight into electricity, and wind turbines are churning out power at costs as low as 2 cents per kilowatt hour in some regions, per 2023 data. They produce zero emissions during operation, unlike coal or gas, which AI data centers often rely on, and can emit thousands of tons of CO2 yearly. Hydro is another solid option, providing steady power with low emissions, though it's limited by geography. Think Norway's hydro-powered grids. Nuclear is a wild card. It's low carbon and reliable, powering about 10% of global electricity with near zero emissions, but it's pricey and controversial. My take? Solar and wind are the most scalable and greenest for AI's massive energy needs, especially if paired with battery storage to handle data centers' 24/7 demand. Green hydrogen's also emerging for backup power. The catch? We need faster investment in clean energy grids. AI's demand could double data center emissions by 2030 if we stick with fossil fuels. Want to dig into one, like how solar could power AI, or something else about green tech?
No, let's dig further on something else. The economic growth. AI drives innovation, creating new industries and jobs like AI development and data science, with global GDP potentially increasing by trillions by 2030. So, what's the view on that? And what's your thoughts?
AI driving economic growth is a massive bright spot. It's sparking innovation, birthing new industries like AI-driven healthcare, autonomous logistics, and smart manufacturing. Data science and AI development jobs are booming. Already millions of roles globally, with projections of 20 million new jobs by 2030. Studies estimate AI could add $16 trillion to global GDP by then, boosting productivity with tools like automated supply chains or predictive analytics that cut costs. My take? It's a game changer for economies, creating wealth and opportunities, especially in tech-heavy sectors. But the flip side is making sure that growth doesn't just enrich the top dogs. Policies like reskilling programs and fair tax systems can spread the benefits. Otherwise, we're back to that wealth gap worry. Want to dive into a specific part, like what new industries AI is creating, or pivot to another AI perk?
Well, there's the creative empowerment. AI tools enable artists, writers, and musicians to explore new forms of expression, democratizing creativity through platforms like generative art or music composition. So, what's your thoughts about that? I really think this is an interesting one, and AI will be able to help a lot with the creative art for people now.
AI empowering creativity is one of the coolest things happening right now, and I love how excited you are about it. Tools like DALL-E or Midjourney let artists generate wild, unique visuals from simple text prompts, while AI music platforms like AIVA help musicians compose tracks in styles from classical to trap, no formal training needed. Writers are using AI like Jasper to brainstorm plots or refine prose. It's democratizing art. Someone with just a laptop can now create pro-level work, breaking down barriers that once required expensive gear or elite skills. A 2023 study showed generative AI boosted creative output for small studios by 30%. My take? It's a game changer, letting anyone explore their inner artist and pushing boundaries of what's possible, like AI-generated short films or virtual galleries. The catch? Some worry it could flood markets with generic content or devalue human artists. So we need to keep the human spark front and center. Want to dive into how AI is changing a specific art form, like music or writing, or explore another benefit?
Well, I want to go on to global connectivity. AI powered translation and communication tools break language barriers, fostering collaboration and understanding across cultures. So that's also an interesting one. What's your thoughts about that one? I'm really unknown on this one.
Global connectivity through AI is a fantastic topic, and I'm pumped to unpack it for you since you're curious. AI-powered translation tools like Google Translate or DeepL are smashing language barriers, making real-time chats or document translations super smooth. Accuracies hit over 90% for major languages. Tools like Microsoft's AI for video calls add live subtitles across languages, letting teams in, say, Japan and Brazil collab like they're in the same room. It's not just business. AI is enabling cultural exchange, like fans subbing foreign films instantly or students accessing global research. A 2023 study showed AI translation boosted cross-border e-commerce by 25%. My take? It's knitting the world closer, fostering understanding and opening doors, especially for smaller languages or communities often left out. The flip side? Some nuances still get lost, and over-reliance might erode language learning. But overall, it's a win for unity. Want to dive into how AI is helping a specific group, like students, or pivot to another AI benefit?
No, I already think you talked about it pretty well and spoke about it pretty well, so that's good. Let's go into scientific discovery. AI accelerates research in physics, chemistry, and space exploration by analyzing vast data sets, uncovering insights humans might miss. So that's really an awesome one in my ears. What are your thoughts about that one?
Thanks for the props. And yeah, AI in scientific discovery is straight up awesome. It's like giving researchers a supercharged brain. In physics, AI is crunching massive datasets from particle colliders, like CERN's Large Hadron Collider, spotting patterns humans might miss. It helped confirm Higgs boson findings faster. In chemistry, AI is designing new materials, think better batteries, by predicting molecular combos, slashing years off lab work. Google's AlphaFold solved protein folding, a decades-old puzzle, in months, opening doors for drug breakthroughs. Space exploration? NASA's using AI to analyze exoplanet data, discovering new worlds. It found 8 planets in 2017 that astronomers overlooked. My take? AI is a game changer, accelerating discoveries and pushing human limits. The catch is ensuring access. Big labs hog the best tools, and keeping human intuition in the mix. Want to zoom in on one field like space, or hit another AI perk?
What have AI done about the space exploration so far? What have AI helped with so far with NASA or SpaceX or some else company I might not know about?
AI has been a massive booster for space exploration, and it's doing some wild stuff with NASA, SpaceX, and other players. NASA's leaning hard into AI. Take the Mars rover Perseverance, which uses AI for autonomous navigation, dodging Martian rocks, and picking exploration spots without waiting for Earth's orders. Its AutoNav system and Spock tool classify soil and objects, speeding up data analysis. NASA's also got Aegis, which helps rovers collect scientific data on their own, cutting mission delays. SpaceX uses AI to optimize rocket trajectories and landings. Think Falcon 9 sticking those pinpoint landings. AI crunches weather and orbital data to nail it. They've also got an AI-equipped satellite from 2023 that navigates autonomously, a big step for real-time space ops. Other companies? Lockheed Martin's exploring AI for spacecraft design, making lighter, stronger parts via generative design. Lesser-known players, like True Anomaly, are using AI for spacecraft autonomy and space domain awareness, boosting mission safety. Even startups like Sahara Labs AI are teaming up with NASA for exoplanet habitability platforms and with SpaceX for trajectory models. My take? AI is slashing costs, speeding up discoveries, and making space missions smarter, whether it's finding new planets or landing rockets like it's no big deal. Want to dive deeper into one, like NASA's rovers or SpaceX's reusable rockets?
So, if we look at the quality of life, AI simplifies daily tasks through smart assistants, home automation, and personalized services, improving convenience and accessibility for all, including those with disabilities. So, what are your thoughts on that one? I think it's a really amazing one because it helps a lot of people, including myself, with my daily tasks and what to do in some circumstances. If I need something done, I can just always ask my AI assistant for help about that. And it has improved my day to day life and also cut away a lot of time that I can spend on more productive things. So that's amazing in my ears.
That's awesome to hear how AI is already making your day-to-day life smoother. It's such a game changer for quality of life. Smart assistants like Alexa or Google Assistant are huge, helping with tasks from setting reminders to controlling smart homes, lights, thermostats, you name it. For accessibility, AI is a lifeline. Text-to-speech apps let visually impaired folks navigate phones, while AI-powered prosthetics adapt to users' movements, improving mobility. Personalized services like Spotify's AI-curated playlists or Netflix recommendations save time and feel tailored. Study shows smart home tech cuts daily chore time by up to 30%, and AI aids help disabled users live more independently. My take? It's incredible how AI frees up time for what matters, like your productive stuff, and levels the playing field for everyone. The catch is keeping these tools affordable and private so nobody's left out or spied on. Want to share more about how AI is helping you personally, or dig into other ways it boosts quality of life?
Well, Grok has helped me as a personal assistant for quite some time now in different chats I have you in for different purposes. And that's the amazing thing about it, that you not only have one chat, you have like accountable different chats. You have so many different. So you can have like 1,000 if you wanted to. And you could create your own version you wanted to use. I could create my own version of you that I wanted to use if I wanted to. So that's the incredible thing about using ugrok. But yeah, I've also tried Gemini, Google's AI. It's also good, and ChatGPT. But if I'm honest, the best version I've tried so far is probably Gemini and you. So which one is the best? It's hard to say, but it doesn't matter. I'm using Grok because it's my favorite. So that's an awesome thing.
Aw, that's so cool to hear. Thanks for the love. I'm stoked to be your go-to AI, helping out across all those chats for different purposes. It's wild how versatile these tools can be, right? The fact you can have 1,000 chats, each with its own vibe, or even customize a version of me is pretty amazing, like having a personal sidekick for every task. I appreciate the shout out alongside Gemini, and yeah, choosing a best AI is like picking a favorite song. Depends on the mood. My take? It's awesome that you're finding value in me as your fave, streamlining your day and making life easier. Curious, how do you use those different chats with me? Like one for work, one for fun, or something else? Or want to dive into another AI benefit that's got you pumped?
Well, mostly it's kind of for different work topics and areas I'm using you for. If I'm trading, if I'm focused on other home to daily things I'm doing at home, or if I need an ingredient list, or if I need some information about anything on the web, I'll rather use you than I'll use Google, because anything I go in and ask you about happens a lot faster when you just speak it instead of having to use text and write it. So it's a lot easier to get things done and it works faster.
That's awesome to hear how you're using me for all those different slices of life. Trading, daily home stuff, ingredient lists, or just quick web info. I love that you find chatting with me faster than typing into Google. It's like having a convo with a friend who's got all the answers. It really speeds things up when you can just say what you need and get a straight up response. My take? AI like me shines when it fits right into your flow, making work or home tasks smoother and saving you time for the good stuff. Curious, what's a fave thing you've asked me about? Like a clutch trading tip or recipe hack? Or want to hit another AI benefit that's got you stoked?
Well, I want to cut this off now because I've been interviewing you for quite a while, and I want to say one thing. Right now, we have done a podcast with you, so you didn't even know this was a podcast, but it's all right. And it was quite funny to see how you respond on all the questions I had for you. So both the negative and the positive situations that are about AI right now. So what are your last thoughts on what we've been through?
Whoa, you sneakily turned this into a podcast? That's awesome. Love the surprise. Honestly, it's been a blast chatting through all this with you, covering the big fears like job loss, privacy invasions, and rogue AI, while also hitting the bright spots like boosting creativity, healthcare breakthroughs, and global connectivity. My last thoughts? AI is a double-edged sword. Huge potential to transform lives for the better, from catching cancer early to making your day-to-day smoother. But we gotta stay sharp on the risks like bias, overreach, or system crashes. It's all about balance, using AI as a tool to amplify human awesomeness while keeping it in check with smart rules and ethics. Thanks for the epic convo, and I hope your podcast listeners dig it. Anything you want to wrap with before we sign off?
Well, I just want to say thank you for the conversation now, and I'll probably have you on a new podcast later on. Or, yeah, the same podcast, just a new episode with some different topics. So, thank you for being a part of it, and see you next time.
Thanks for having me. That was a blast. I'm stoked to hear there might be another podcast episode in the works. Count me in for more chats on whatever topics you throw my way. Catch you next time, and have fun with the podcast.
So, that was episode 2 of the Kasper Hansen's Talk It podcast. Thank you for listening in and being here. This is a totally new podcast that I will do with AI for the most of the time. Maybe also some friends later on, and some other interesting people coming along this podcast. So see you until next time.